Hello everyone. Today I, Pracheta Kamble of class 12th A, will be presenting you all the art integrated learning project on human embryonic development. Human embryonic development or human embryogenesis refers to the development and the formation of an human embryo. Embryogenesis is an incredibly complex process after fertilization where a single cell transforms into an organism. All the organ systems begin to develop during this stage. Fertilization. The motile sperms swim and pass the cervix to enter into the uterus and reach the ampulla isthmic junction. Fertilization takes place in the ampulla isthmic junction. All copulations do not lead to fertilization because it can only occur if the ovum and sperm are transported simultaneously to the ampulla isthmic junction. After 4 days of fertilization, embryo begins to develop from a tiny massive cell to a fetus. The anchoring secretes an hormone that prevents the disintegration of lining and hence no menstrual period. In spite of the small size of the embryo, it has a primitive heart. Several weeks go by and at 2 months it is called a fetus. When the embryo attaches to the uterus, a complex structure called placenta is formed. This closely connects the embryo's blood vessels to the mother's blood supply. Also, the nutrients, oxygen, and waste products can pass between the mother and the embryo. From the placenta emerges the umbilical cord, which leads to the abdomen of the fetus. When the cord is removed at birth, the belly button is created. By the end of 3 months, all the organs of the fetus are in place and ready to undergo intense growth. It grows on every month, and after 9 months, it is completely developed and birth occurs. Let us have a look at it step by step. The motile sperms swim and pass the cervix to enter into the uterus and finally to reach the ovum released by the ovary in the ampulla isthmic junction. All copulations do not lead to fertilization because fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampulla isthmic junction. A zygote is formed when the egg and the sperm cell fuse. For its first few days, the zygote undergoes rapid mitotic division, cleavage, producing a large number of cells, forming the 2-celled, 4-celled, 8-celled, and the 32-celled morula. It is same size as the zygote due to the zona pellucida membrane, which limits its growth. Now, the cell begins to differentiate and move towards being a specific type of cell. 2 layers are developed, the outer one called the trophoblast and the inner one called the inner cell mass. The trophoblast develops into structures that help the growing embryo implant in the mother's uterus. The inner cell mass will continue to differentiate and parts of it will eventually become the embryo. So it is sometimes called the embryoblast. This is also the time when the zona pellucida begins to disappear, allowing the ball of cells, now called a blastocyst, to grow and change shape. The inner cell mass differentiate further into epiblast and hypoblast, where the hypoblast does not contribute to the embryo. During gastrulation, 3 germ layers are formed, which go on to form one of our organizational tubes. The 3 germ layers are the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. The ectoderm. It is usually referred to as the outer layer. It gives rise to hair, skin, nail, and the nervous system. Mesoderm. It is referred to as the middle layer. It gives rise to the circulatory system, lungs, skeletal system, and the muscular system. Endoderm. It is the innermost layer of all the 3 layers. It gives rise to the digestive system, liver, and pancreas. It starts with the formation of the primitive streak, which determines the midline of the body and separates the left and right side. We can see it as a moving cells that are going from the epiblast and moving down. Here the germ layers are formed. The mesoderm, the middle germ layer, forms a thin rod of cell known as the notochord. The notochord helps define the major axis of our body. The mesoderm can be subdivided into the axial, paraaxial, intermediate, and lateral plate mesoderms. The notochord came from the axial mesoderm. The paraaxial mesoderm will give rise to somites, which will differentiate into muscle, cartilage, bone, and dermis. The intermediate mesoderm is the origin of our urogenital system, our kidneys, gonads, adrenal glands, and the ducts that connect them. The lateral plate mesoderm will give rise to the heart, blood vessels, the body wall, and the muscle in our organs. The endoderm is rolling into a tube as well, the digestive tract. The ectoderm will become the skin. This is how slowly and steadily the embryogenesis occurs, leading to the formation of a baby. Even though a very complex and complicated process, this formation of fetus can really be an exciting stage to experience a little life then come out of a big belly after 9 months. With this, I would like to end my presentation on a thankful note. Thank you.